At the border crossing between Manitoba and the United States, the federal public safety minister and Manitoba's premier showing off some of the new measures Canada has taken to appease Donald Trump's concerns about illegal migration and drug smuggling. Equipment to better detect fentanyl and other contraband. Part of the $1.3 billion package for border strengthening the federal government launched after the U.S. president first threatened tariffs on Canadian provinces last year. A threat he put on pause for 30 days after 2 phone calls with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau on Monday. Canada also agreeing to appoint a so-called fentanyl czar to coordinate efforts to stop production and trafficking of the dangerous opioid, and establishing a U.S.-Canada joint strike force on fentanyl, with Canada putting up $200 million in new spending. All an effort to convince Trump that Canada has agreed to his demands. But Canada still faces contentious negotiations with the U.S. to avoid tariffs kicking in a month from now. Still unclear what exactly will be negotiated. But this trade lawyer says it will likely be an accelerated review of the USMCA agreement Canada signed with Mexico and the U.S. during Trump's first term.
Lots of bluster, lots of fights along the way. Eventually gets rolled over to a renegotiation of the USMCA, maybe with some headline points of things to be included in it. But, there'll be lots of bluster and threats between then and now.
That negotiation coming as the U.S. launches other trade battles. Beijing striking back against the 10% tariffs Trump imposed on Chinese products, with retaliatory tariffs on imports of Tesla's Cybertruck and U.S.-produced coal and liquefied natural gas. One challenge for Canada in future trade talks, ensuring that uncertainty about tariffs doesn't encourage companies to decide to invest elsewhere.
To avoid the possibility of this war in the future, we're gonna be safe and invest on the U.S. side because that's the bigger market, and that is really the core problem that Canada needs to address right now, and it's not going to go away because we got this temporary reprieve in tariff.
With retaliation temporarily on hold too, provincial liquor stores will be putting U.S. booze back on their shelves. But the federal New Democrats say the Buy Canadian campaign should continue as long as the possibility of new tariffs remains.
Buy Canadian, to buy Quebec. When you're buying your products, check the labels. We were doing that just now, verifying that things are Canadian made or made in Quebec so that you are supporting local, you're supporting the industries in our country. You need to boycott anything that's made in the United States during this time.
Even yesterday, while negotiating the temporary suspension of tariffs, Donald Trump repeated his desire to see Canada become the 51st state in the United States, suggesting to some that annexation is his ultimate goal in a trade dispute that has eroded much of the goodwill between 2 close allies. Glenn McGregor, City News, Ottawa.